And our next focus keeps us here in Delhi. The Enforcement Directorate yesterday questioned Congress President Sonia Gandhi for over 6 hours on the second day of her appearance in connection with a money laundering case linked to the National Herald newspaper. The agency has summoned the 75-year-old Congress chief today as well. So Sonia Gandhi is going to be appearing for a third round today. ED has so far asked 55 questions from Gandhi. They mostly focus on the money trail and the role of other senior Congress leaders in each of these transactions. It's expected that the line of questioning today will remain the same. Remember, yesterday, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, her son, was detained during protests. A number of other Congress leaders were also detained. Today also we're going to be seeing Congress leaders and workers hitting the streets to protest against the ED heat on Gandhi. Very quickly, take a look at some senior Congress reactions. Then we're going to take a deeper dive into this story.
देखिए, ये बड़े दुख की और बड़ी अजीब बात है कि एक 10 वर्ष पुराना केस जो बंद कर दिया गया था, उसको केवल राजनीतिक द्वेष की भावना से उसका दुरुपयोग किया जा रहा है। 2016 में ईडी ने खुद इस केस को समाप्त कर दिया था और बावजूद उसके अब खुद इसको बार बार उठा करके इसको केवल कांग्रेस के नेताओं के ऊपर, कांग्रेस पार्टी पे दबाव बनाने के लिए किया जा रहा है। और ये इसलिए किया जा रहा है ताकि देश के जो वास्तविक मुद्दे हैं, जैसे अग्निपथ बेरोजगारी का मुद्दा है, महंगाई का मुद्दा है, ऐसे मुद्दों के ऊपर विपक्ष के ऊपर दबाव डाला जा सके कि विपक्ष ये मुद्दों को ना उठाए। हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि विपक्ष किसी भी तरीके से डरने वाला नहीं है। महंगाई का मुद्दा, जीएसटी का मुद्दा, बेरोजगारी का मुद्दा, अग्निपथ का मुद्दा, ये सारे मुद्दे हम लगातार उठाते रहेंगे और जोर से उठाते रहेंगे और जनता की आवाज को हम दबने नहीं देंगे और विपक्ष किसी भी तरीके से दबाव में आने वाला नहीं है।
We need to expose this government's strategy of trying to silence the opposition, especially because the opposition, in particular Congress party, has been raising the issues of price rise, unemployment, Agnipath, GST, issues that put this government in the dock. They make this government very uncomfortable. Therefore, they are trying to silence us, but they are sadly mistaken. They cannot silence us. We will continue with our satyagraha. We will continue to raise these issues. Where is the FIR? The case which was closed, why has it been reopened? Why are they summoning them without an FIR? When the company is a Section 25 company, it's a not-for-profit company. Where is the money laundering? Not one penny has been transferred into anybody's account. Where is the money laundering? Why does the ED get involved? Therefore, it is political vendetta.
This is clear harassment. Our leader Sonia Gandhi ji is a tigress. It's very clear from the fact. This clearly speaks volumes of what the BJP is trying to do, how it harasses those, especially the opposition, who tries to expose what is right in the interest of the nation.
All right, let's take a much deeper look now at what took place yesterday. On one side, you had, as you saw, Sonia Gandhi reaching the ED office at a little past noon. The ED then probed Sonia Gandhi for 6 hours over 2 rounds. She did take a brief break in between. Remember, Gandhi is still suffering, according to multiple reports, from symptoms related to COVID. She had taken time to recover. She'd been summoned 2 times before. Now the ED is allowing Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, her daughter, to actually attend the questioning with her to give her medicines. 35 questions were asked to Sonia when she was present at the ED questioning on the AJL Young Indian deal. Remember, this entire case is a case that stretches more than 10 years back when you had the BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy first file a complaint. The case has been going on since. The investigation has been going on since. But you've had senior Congress leaders raise the point that there is no FIR in this case. So how is the ED conducting this investigation? Anyway, yesterday she was questioned, as we already said, for 6 hours. The day before that, she was questioned for 2 hours on day 1. So remember, today when she goes in, it will be her third round of questioning. Day 1 had 20 questions related to money laundering that did take place. Now, you might remember when her son had attended, there had been multiple reports saying that Rahul Gandhi was spending a lot of time looking at the answers, because you must remember these answers will later be submitted to court, which is why often during the interrogation you have these Congress leaders taking a very careful look at what they're writing down. Now, there were questions, as you can see, and this is a big question mark, this part, that there are multiple questions on what the role of other Congress leaders are in this entire case. When Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi's son, was questioned, he'd said he wasn't too aware of the financial handling and the financial transactions. Other Congress leaders had been handling that. That's perhaps why these questions were also asked to Sonia Gandhi. Now, yesterday, our managing editor, Zaka Jacob, spoke to an entire panel of people on this entire story, on Sonia Gandhi's questioning. Take a look at what the panel had to say.
Zaka, to my understanding, this complaint against the National Herald also started with a private complaint. I'm sure that every fourth leader in Congress is a lawyer. They have a battery of lawyers in the party. They can go against and file a complaint against these people and follow in the courts of law. I think that is not an argument that because the 5 people are corrupt or seems to be corrupt, you can't probe, you can't do the investigation against the Rahul Gandhi or against the Sonia Gandhi. What kind of argument is that? In fact, just 2 days back, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary liked ED, liked CBI and written a letter to Mamata Banerjee that they should remove Partha Chatterjee from the party. So I think their ED, CBI becomes fine, but when they interrogate Rahul, the Rahul Gandhi and the Sonia Gandhi and other legal luminaries very brightly explained the case, they are not even part of the complying with the investigation. Then the street, then no, you can't even, you can do all the hodgepodge, you can do multiple companies, you can give loan in 50 lakh, you can write off a 90 crore rupee loan. And Supriya Sinergy said, no, it's not a 2,000 crore rupees crime they have done. They have done a 359 crore rupees crime. Okay, that's fine. But you can't probe them. I think that's the problem we have.
Okay. Hemant Atri, just to take this forward, I think one of the points that I want to take this forward, one of the points that the lawyer made, Mr. Sankla made, is that there was an obvious conflict of interest. Taking the point that he made further, there was an obvious conflict of interest when you have 76% of a not-for-profit Section 25 company owned by Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and the remaining 25% owned by 2 other loyalists who are not there with us anymore. In the case of Mr. Vora, who used to be the long-time treasurer of the party, he was involved in all 3 entities. He was part of AJL, he was a shareholder and a director at Young India, and of course, he was a treasurer of the AICC, which had lent 90 crores to AJL. I mean, in the private sector, this would be called conflict of interest, a textbook case of conflict of interest.
Zaka, I hope I have listened to everybody for good 22 minutes. I hope that you will give me at least 2 minutes uninterrupted. See, brother, the thing is, what is happening around? If it is such a serious case as my esteemed lawyer friend was saying, why Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi scot-free till date? It was investigated, investigation started in 2014. It is 8 years hence, on 31st of July, 8 years will be completed. Why are they scot-free till date in a zero-tolerance government like Modi at the top, at the helm of the affairs? Point number 1. Point number 2, the kind of discussion that is happening around, something very disturbing. All these political parties, Zaka, they are political opponents. They are not enemies. If there is some investigation going on, every investigating agency has a right to get into the depths of the thing, details of the thing. My point is something else. Say about a year back or so, they investigated and interrogated Mr. Robert Vadra also. Can you please tell me where is that case now? Has he been arrested or proven guilty? What is ED doing in since 1955 till date? What is their conviction rate? Zaka, it is not the issue. See, we are a mature democracy. We are the largest democracy of the world. The kind of things that are happening on the roads, we are not a banana republic. Today, all those MPs who were protesting, everybody has a right to protest peacefully. Were they making any meanings on that? They were not allowed to go to Rajghat also. You please arrest everybody who is there. No problems. But there is a certain decorum and way of handling things and people. The way AICC president was, they held him from the hair. Is it something, is a civilized society that allows? My point is something very different, Zaka. These things should be investigated and investigated properly with not a lot of political noise.
Okay.
See, this is Zaka, a white collar crime. It's not a like 302 case, 302 murder case, wherein you have to, recover many things. It's a black and white on paper crime, if at all it has happened. See, so unless and until you want to get into the depth of it, and you were not able to make into 8 years, why today? Zaka, these questions will arise, my dear brother.
Okay.
Now the thing is, how Congress takes it. Now the problem comes in a very different way. If they make a hue and cry, you and me ask why they are doing it. If they don't come out on the road, we ask why they are coming on the roads. My point is something very different. In a democratic setup, there are two parts. One is ruling and other one is opposition.
Yeah.
Now, if at all the Congress party is coming on the roads, maybe on a wrong pretext, let me suffice that. They are coming on a wrong pretext for the very simple reason. There are n number of issues which are relating to the masses at large in this country, maybe unemployment, maybe n number of things. Why they are not protesting on that? Why on this?
Okay.
So,
Shantanu wanted to make a quick rebuttal, then I'll go to Supriya. Yeah. All right. Shantanu, quickly, please.
Zaka, my limited point is, I think he's saying police should be more humane. I think we all agree police in India from West Bengal to Rajasthan, from Chhattisgarh to Kerala should be more humane. But that does not absolve that Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi should
not be called for questioning. Okay.
Should not be called for questioning.
Okay.
Why don't you arrest them?
No. Arrest happens if in the course of an investigation they find a person not to be cooperating. Then yes, then arrest happens. But anyway, Supriya, please respond to the points that couple made. Number one, what was a political party doing lending loans to a company? Number two, this whole conflict of interest.
I heard that.
Okay, go ahead.
I heard it. The lawyer on this show here said AJL owned by Gandhis or some people close to him. Absolutely a damn lie. The Gandhis have nothing to do with AJL whatsoever.